if I'm being totally honest, I think one of the biggest fears that I've had to get over is the fear of being perceived by other people. I think that due to the fact that I have an awareness of who I am, or at least an awareness of who I could be, and I think that the way I think about myself in such a massive way, it sort of brings a fear about that I don't really know, or I haven't really known in the past how to deal with. And it's like, bro, you could be this if you did this, but for some reason there was always something in the way. And I think, not even I think, I know that thing was just the fear of being perceived. I think we put so much weight and give so much credit to the values and hold on, let me relax. We give so much credit to the opinions of other people, and we think too much about how other people are perceiving us to the point where it becomes sort of scary to be ourselves, right? And in doing this, bro, we lose see, I'm scared, and I'm getting over the anxiety, I'm getting over the tension, and I'm getting over a lot of different things. And I think that we have to, that's a good one right there. So there came a point in my journey where I had to realize, and I had to admit to myself that I was scared. Like, I was scared of a lot of different things. And I think just within the human experience, fear is something that exists, but I think that's something that you have to overcome. And I think that's where courage comes in, where you just like, okay, I am scared, and you are totally aware of the things that you're afraid of, but not letting those fears or whatever emotions you feel that can potentially hold you back get in the way from you getting to where you want to go. Like, if you have something here, like if it exists here and you see it right over there, you can't let fear stand in the way of that. Like, and that mountain of fear may be very large. Like, you may look at it like, damn, how am I supposed to get over that? But it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna like stay where you are? And I think that when I came to that realization of like, okay, I am scared of certain things. I do deal with the fear of being perceived due to the fact that I've lived so much of my life just within my own world. I'm an only child, so I really just exist, or have existed within my own world like a lot of the time. So the fear of being perceived as an authentic person with the quirks and the weird qualities that I have and that we all have as individuals, that's something that I've had to somewhat like just, okay, like I put it to the side, like we all have these things, right? And by me being able and being willing to express myself and share my thoughts and share my opinions and allow myself to be perceived by other people who may agree with what I'm saying, who may disagree with it, regardless of whether they agree with it or not, I know that I am doing something to develop myself and develop my experience and overall create a better experience for myself in life, and just allow myself to be a creator. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here to do. We're here to create, and we're here to express ourselves and find our way through this life and try different things and experiment with whatever it is that we want to experiment with, but not allowing the fears that we have to get in the way. And also understanding that the more we do something, despite the fear of like what's going to come from it, the better we get at it. So early on, like I started doing YouTube maybe like 5 years ago, maybe even like before that. But when I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna make my first YouTube video, or one of my early YouTube videos, and I remember the feeling of being so nervous. And that feeling is something that I kind of fear now, you know, because I have these things that I want to do, but I know that it can be very daunting, and it's a very seemingly massive challenge that we put in front of ourselves. But it's really just something that we make up, because it's really just as simple as turning on the camera. For me, in this specific example, it's really just as simple as turning on the camera and saying what it is that's on my mind and what I feel needs to be said and what needs to be heard, and really just expressing myself and expressing my experiences, and understanding that by me coming on camera and doing what it is that I want to do and expressing my experiences, I have the ability and I have the potential to impact the lives of other people. Today, someone told me that I inspired them, and it was a very weird feeling, because in part that's kind of what I do it for, but it was very weird a little bit to hear somebody who has went on to do something creative in their own right tell me that I have been a big inspiration to them. And I was like, wow, that really showed me that by me just being myself and me doing things despite the fear that I feel, I have the ability to go into the world and impact people, to then now see them do great things in their own right. And that's something that is very it meant a lot for me to hear that from this person. And I was like, wow. So that is something that I take with me, and I'm just like, I'm gonna keep doing it, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with all y'all, bro. I have a fear. Like, there is a fear that exists, but I just try to show up despite the fear, bro. So there's like a knot right here in my chest right now, and I feel it, but it's like, bro, let me just do the shit that I know that I keep thinking about. Like, okay, I want to make content. I want to make content. But let me just go and try it, bro, and see what happens from it. And even like, I'm a very self-aware person, and I'm very observant of myself, and I don't know what that comes from. Again, it could come from the only child syndrome that I have, to where it's like I'm very critical of like the things that I'm doing. And I think there's a good and bad in that, because to that point of me being afraid of being perceived in the past, I think that's one thing that has really been in my way. But understanding that I have to really just embrace who it is that I am, and I have to be I'm not gonna say fearless, but I have to be courageous enough to just show up as it is who I am. Like, I have to just be courageous enough to show up as I am, you know, and doing certain things. I just hit the 50 video mark on my YouTube channel, and that was a very significant emotional moment for me, because when I first set out on the journey to do it, I was a little bit inconsistent on this specific channel, but it was really just a channel to document my process and my journey as I continued to grow, and just to see where my mind went. But along the journey, and as I got closer and closer to that 50 mark, I noticed that I just became a lot bit more confident in my ability to speak, my ability to express myself. But had I let that fear stand in the way of me getting out into that realm of creativity and really just expressing myself, I wouldn't have been able to make that progress. And by making that progress in one area, I noticed that it had an effect on the progress that I was making in other areas of my life. I noticed things started going more smoothly, and I was showing up as a more confident individual in certain aspects of whatever it is, whether that be one of the videos I was on there and I ran 7 miles, and I was like, bro, I really stuck to what it is that I said I wanted to do. And sticking to your word is something that builds a lot of confidence in your ability to do different things. So by me sticking to my word and doing that specific thing, it then gave me the confidence to start a new project. The same way I probably wouldn't have been able to even start posting on here. Like, this is probably gonna be the first video, and it's a very long video, but I really just wanted to do it to get the point across that by showing up despite the fear, you can make a lot of progress. You can make so much progress by just putting yourself in positions to where you feel uncomfortable. And oftentimes where you feel that knot in your chest that I mentioned earlier, when you feel that knot, but you have an idea of what could come from you facing that fear, it puts you in a position to do things that are probably unimaginable to you, because it's like, bro, I am doing something, and overcoming this fear just gives you the confidence to keep overcoming these fears, to the point where you just become this completely new person. You know, you may have had an old identity to where you were afraid to face challenges, or you were afraid to try new things, or just step out and be whoever the fuck you are. Like, that's something that we have all experienced, you know. But the process of facing these fears and just showing up and doing what it is that you said you wanted to do, and enjoying that process and allowing yourself to grow publicly. Like, I'm putting this in the public, so I'm allowing myself to grow publicly, right? But even if you're someone who doesn't, or if you're not at that point to where you feel comfortable enough to grow publicly, do what I did, bro. I started a YouTube channel really just to document my progress, and I didn't tell anybody about the process. Like, at this very moment, I think it only has like 6 subscribers. But for me to be able to go on and really make a commitment to myself and show up and hold myself accountable and be like, bro, I'm gonna show up for myself as consistently as I possibly can, right? And see where that takes me, and see the progress that I'm able to make in my own life, to where now I have a newfound level of belief within myself, because I have overcome a challenge, and I've completed a challenge that I made for myself. It wasn't for anybody else. It wasn't for the approval of the world. Like I said, I didn't tell anybody. It was really just for me to see if I could do something. The same way when I go to the gym and I work out and I may try something different, or like when I ran those 7 miles. And to somebody who runs a lot, 7 miles may not be a lot, but to someone who doesn't run at all, that's a lot of fucking miles to be running. So, and for me, the person that I was, bro, why the fuck would I go run 7 miles? Like, what for what? You know, but now I see the value, and I see it's really not even about obviously it has, speaking about the 7-mile run specifically, because that was a very like life-changing moment for me, because for one, I didn't have to do it. I could have stopped, I could have walked during the run, but I went all the way through, bro, and my legs were killing me when I got off. But I was like, bro, I'm just gonna do it because I know that this is going to do something to me, and it's going to do something for me in regards to my ability to be able to recognize the fact that I have the strength and the ability to overcome challenges and overcome these different obstacles that may present themselves along my journey, right? And with this newfound confidence, I know that, okay, as these new challenges come, they may seem large at the beginning or like when they first present themselves, but due to the confidence that I've been able to gain by way of overcoming challenges in the past, I know that I can now show up and take these steps that are gonna get me up that mountain, and then to when I get over the top and it's like, bro, it wasn't even that bad. So yeah, that's that. But I just wanted to get this video. I don't know, I may do this as one video, but I'll probably bust it down to pause. I may break it down to smaller clips. But yeah, thank you all for watching.